Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming podcast.
Too slow. We got to be moving faster than this. Kids are already losing their attention.
I was about to introduce myself and say, I am Steve, you are Steve, we are all Steve. We are...
Lava chicken, lava chicken.
Hiryu Kazuma's lava chicken. Dude, I've been loving... That was my favorite thing to come from it, just people using AI to put different characters to make the lava chicken song. And say, AI can be used for good, folks. It's not all bad. Yes,
yeah, according to the Netflix CEO, we can use AI to make better TV shows and movies than regular people.
For that one Instagram reel, we had to sacrifice an entire hectare worth of trees in the rainforest. But still,
I was gonna say there's
my
some content worth
personal enjoyment. You know, is it a worthwhile trade-off? Yeah. Do we think this movie was generated with AI in terms of
only humans can make something this shitty? The Netflix CEO was right. AI will make better movies and TV.
Here's the thing, though. I think you're right, because this was a movie that has probably about 20 different writing credits in terms of how many treatments it got, who it still had to be credited here and there. At one point, fucking Rob McElhenney was set to direct and still gets a writing credit from it.
Amazing. I didn't know he still got a writing credit. I saw that he was at one point gonna direct.
It's completely...
You see, the only difference in that movie would be Charlie Day would be Steve.
It is just like, you know, a complete clusterfuck of nonsensical... Andrew's like, I memory hold all of this movie before coming in. I'm like, there's nothing to memory hold. There is no... There is no plot here. There is no plot in this movie.
At least if Rob had made it and Charlie Day was Steve, it would have ended up being a paint-fueled hallucination dream.
The creepers are after me, Dennis. I think that this is, in a lot of ways, though, the perfect adaptation for Minecraft, because it is something essentially without a story that is just pointing at references and look at the things that I can make. Like, people are like, you know, Minecraft is all about pure creativity to make your own stories. Like the stories that, you know, kids are making in Minecraft are any more, you know, robust or detailed than look at the slave pen of villagers I made.
Look at the war crimes I'm doing.
In the millennials grew up with The Sims being our human torture simulator.
Yeah. Still exists, though, because millennials are keeping that one strong.
Yeah. Millennials are fluent in Simlish. Gen Z is fluent in Villager. And
I will say that's one of the only things that consistently got laughs out of me throughout the movie was just anytime a villager opened their mouth, because I just like to honk.
Yes. The villager side story, the B plot with the villager. It wasn't the
golem.
So funny.
I just like the sounds that they make. That was it.
You can attest to the fact that sitting next to me, there were multiple instances where my body was physically convulsing.
When General Chungus said he was going to unalive somebody, I could visibly feel Matt cringe.
You could feel Matt having to fight himself from just walking out of the theater.
I was about to say there was an uncontrollable urge just to not only walk out of the theater, just walk in a straight line. Through a parking lot, through the street, through the woods, into a river.
Into the overworld.
Yeah. Start punching trees.
If it wasn't for his night blindness, I don't like that. Keeping him locked into his seat, I don't think.
Yeah, you got to witness that firsthand while we were trying to sit during previews.
I'm like his seeing eye dog when we go to the movies. I'm like, over here, this way. Follow the sound of my voice.
No, the absolute worst part of this movie was my bunch of crunch box falling between the seat and just having to like blindly fish around for it.
Okay.
Yeah, if it was open.
He thought that the autistic kid behind us was going to steal them.
Because I couldn't find it on the ground, I was like, holy shit, a little kid behind me just grabbed my bunch of crunch, and I'm going to have to get kicked out of here for punching a child.
But bunch of crunch is an old person coded candy, so I don't think you're at a huge risk.
It would throw it back.
What is this?
They would exclusively hold it for the chicken jockey scene so they could launch it at the screen.
Yeah. Do we want to like start the conversation with the whole kind of meme phenomenon, the scandals, the controversies going around the viewing experience? We can start with what our viewing experiences were. Did anybody go crazy in your viewing, Andrew?
My viewing was on the scale of other Minecraft showings, relatively tame. There was some hooting and hollering at the, my name is Steve and chicken jockey bits for sure. We got some claps, we got some whoops, but no popcorn throwing, nothing of that sort. No one went truly crazy and ruined the experience. It was pretty tame relatively.
We had like what, 3 or 4 people who like really wanted to clap and go for Chicken Jockey, but no one joined them, so they kind of
died out.
Yeah.
Ours was like,
it was a very packed movie for a Montpelier theater.
So it was
especially at 4:00 on a Sunday
for a subtitle show too, for a showing with
yeah.
subtitles. I was
really upset that they didn't go like full fuck, I'm forgetting the term for it all of a sudden. But they didn't have like Subway Surfers on the side and like kinetic sand.
Green maxing.
Yeah.
Let the kids stim as they're watching their movie. We had like, there's a kid behind us, the kids in front, like they're kind of like talking throughout the whole movie. And normally that's a behavior that I find unacceptable in any civilized communal viewing experience. This is a completely different type of movie and movie experience. I actually encourage that level of engagement. Everybody should be just fucking bullshitting and laughing, pointing at the screen, making fun of the movie.
The kid behind us was actually helping in the fact that they were basically telling their parents what was going on, and it basically served as me being like, okay, cool, now I understand who the pig with the crown is. Or
I was surprised, that the kid who probably like younger than 10 years old, like immediately clocked the Technoblade reference.
Terminally online child has been watching YouTube for the past 6 years.
Like probably was born after
with an iPad in their hand.
Technoblade passed away. So I mean the man's legacy lives on. But I was like all for that because like this is a experience that is there's no narrative to be spoiled or to be, distracted from, right?
I felt my brain actively trying to melt at the speed of which shit was happening in this movie. Like, I felt this movie trying to shorten my attention span. I had to, like, fight to maintain laser focus.
If you're trying to enjoy the Minecraft movie as a piece of cinema with no distractions whatsoever, you deserve to be renditioned to the nether.
However,
you're not getting it.
I do draw the line at that there's a difference between cheering, talking, and throwing shit everywhere.
Absolutely. And so I was going to say that.
And like Regal Cinema started having dedicated Chicken Jockey showcases where you could go and throw all the shit you want because that was the intention.
That's awesome. I do love that. With the, it's still got to suck for whoever is the person responsible for cleaning that shit up.
Yeah, they need to be getting overtime pay for that work minimum.
That minimum wage, like 17-year-old.
Yeah, that does suck. But like that is kind of.
I think
cool
generally, from what I saw, they were playing those in like the 4D theaters, so that all that shit is like waterproof and
hilarious. That makes sense. The orgy room
is easier to clean up.
Exactly. Has anybody seen the recent season of Righteous Gemstones?
Yes.
The squirt yurts?
Yes, the squirt. Dude,
I've seen the comparison where people were like, "This is just a modern day Rocky Horror Picture Show."
Yeah, they're talking. There was another one that they were comparing it to. That, of course, I'm blanking on now. But that was
my defense up until this point had always been that Rocky Horror Picture Shows were a known quantity, and when a movie theater plays them now, they set them up specifically for people to be, going and engaging with the movie and throwing things.
Yeah, the other one is like The Room.
It's The Room. I was going to say,
it's like you don't go to the room to enjoy it as a visual experience. You go to throw spoons at the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why having a dedicated showing where kids can do whatever it's not even kids.
It's teens.
It's like teenagers and college kids, which is like the really shitty part.
And TikTokers, yeah.
Which aren't people.
They have forfeited their human rights. Again, they will be renditioned to the nether, where they will be put into the torture machine for eternity. But yeah, I think that the experience is heightened by the non-destructive kind of communal memeing and shit like that. I got more enjoyment out of people, doing, I could tell, doing the pointing at the screen type of thing. And
like, relatively speaking, popcorn throwing, it sucks for the worker. That's okay-ish. Don't destroy the screen. Those screens are expensive. I get really annoyed when I see the videos of people like sneaking chickens into the movie theater.
Live chickens.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that once, again, from being abstracted from it, right? You know, that like, you know, not thinking about the people who had to deal with a chicken running, or a little dinosaur running around,
Yeah.
pecking violently at their ankles, or the people that had to clean it up, or any of that.
The,
but like,
the one joke I saw
fully
was, of course, they
abstracted,
grabbed
that
a
is
hen,
funny.
because if they grabbed a Tom Rooster, no civilians would have been left alive after. It would have been a bloodbath.
I'm just thinking about the 15-year-old who showed up to work at the movie theater that day and ended up having to execute a chicken behind the building.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the only
had to
execution
wring
at
its
this.
fucking neck. I was gonna say, how do we feel about the two people that were stabbed and assaulted for telling teens to be quiet in their movie theater? Because here's the thing. People don't deserve to be stabbed and assaulted, yes, but also those people are fucking, you know, zero
Herbs.
fun having herbs. It's like, fuck you, you're an idiot for going to that movie thinking you're gonna have like a normal viewing experience. Do you deserve to be fucking stabbed for that? No, they don't. We do not.
But they're like,
condone
they get like 10%
stabbed.
of the blame, 15% maybe.
Do they deserve to get their head dunked in a toilet? Should they get swirlied? Yes.
Yeah.
That is where we will draw the line.
You can bully those
wedgie.
people.
A wedgie.
Wet noogie.
Yeah, go into the parking lot and give them an atomic wedgie. That's the farthest level of assault you're allowed to get away with for that.
No puncture wounds.
Yeah. Hey.
No, I saw that story and had to throw it in right before we talked about this.
People taking it way too far.
I mean, the joke I saw was like the Venn diagram of people going to hoot and holler at the Minecraft movie, and then the other circle being the people who carry knives on them just in case. It was like it literally must have been the two people in the middle of that Venn diagram.
Man, teens are you're always taking a risk. Teens are undeveloped.
The fact that this was in Rhode Island and not in the UK was what blew my mind. Since when is Rhode Island the center of knife crime?
I mean, Rhode Island is basically a mob.
That's an oi bruv moment right there.
For sure.
I'll chef you for telling me I can't scream when he says water bucket release. But when he releases his water bucket, I also pull my pants down and release my water bucket.
We've done a good job of talking about anything but this movie so far.
No, we're not. We're talking about it. It's all about the movie, right?
Just
about the experience.
Imagine being.
I'm just going through how we usually we talk about the plot and we work through the plot. But
We
there's
will.
nothing to fucking talk about.
We will.
Can we mention how shitty this child actor is? And I'm sorry.
I don't like shitting on child actors, but I did not like the kid at all. His weird almost lisp bothered me. Is that list of me? I don't care.
No.
Okay, RFK Jr.
Yeah.
He'll never have a date.
I just hated every bit of dialogue.
You
that they
could
gave
tell
that kid.
that even the directors knew, because he progressively got less and less lines as the movie went on.
Let's be real. Jason Momoa, besides having top billing, is the main character.
Yeah.
And you can tell that because he's the actual Minecraft coded person as the adult in the room who has an inappropriate relationship with a minor.
My.
Yeah, yeah.
It's great to hear that joke not targeted at the Smash community for once.
They get a slight reprieve. However, I mean, you got to have that representation in there. Apparently, Minecraft YouTubers played a non-insignificant role in the production. Some helped with props and as just consultants. Apparently, streamer and content creator Valkyrie who I don't know her as a Minecraft creator, but was supposed to have a small role in it, but then she criticized Jason Momoa for mistreating the cast and she got her role cut from it, which is hilarious to me.
Jason Momoa mistreating the cast is probably the most based part about that.
Except for Jack Black, they probably they had fun together. You could tell from their on-screen chemistry, and then he was bullying everybody else. It's you nerds who play these games. Like the kid who's apparently the reason why the Technoblade reference exists is that it wasn't planned initially, and then the kid who plays Minecraft told the creators to include it. So he obviously is a Minecraft kid, and Jason Momoa, who doesn't let his kids have cell phones, let alone play video games, is definitely you're a fucking nerd.
Beta bitch.
Yeah, yeah, you're a fucking nerd.
I assume he gave him a wedgie and a noogie.
I mean, that is what Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison would do. I'm just now understanding why he called him Gargar. Because
I have
Garrett
memory
and
hold the
Garrison,
fact of how much I hated Gargar as a nickname.
I'm now just putting that all together. But
No,
yeah, dude.
I liked that he played the role of Peter Dinklage's character in Pixels of his video game
Oh
prodigy.
my god.
Mm,
You know how I was joking at the very top where I said this had 14 different writing credits? That's incorrect.
it's more.
It is so many. The film's final writing credits went to Chris Bowman, Hubble Palmer, Neil Widener, Gavin James, and Chris Galatella, who wrote a story from Allison Schroeder. Then additional literary material credit was given to Rob McElhaney, Megan Amram, Kevin Beagle, John Francis Daly, Dana Fox, Hannah Friedman, Jonathan Goldstein, Phil Augusta Jackson, Laren Kahn, Kieran Mulroney, Michelle Mulroney, Aaron Nee, Adam Nee, Zach Penn, Simon Rich, Peter Solet, Lara Steinel, John Spates, Oren Uziel, and Ben Wexler. I lost count.
That's 28.
Wow.
That's insane. That's bigger than writing rooms for television.
Only the best
28.
movies have 28 writing credits.
Insane.
Hey, that's probably more writers than some of the best masterpieces like Zack Snyder's Justice League.
That is
28 writers.
absolutely absurd.
Kal-El, no.
That is an astounding number. Maybe that's how they did this movie, though. They had each person write a 45-second scene, and then they just arranged
And just
them.
stitch them together.
Yeah, that's where they had Chat GPT fill in the blanks. Yeah, so I mean, you know this is going to be a mess, and it was only saved by its kind of memeable virality, right? It was a Minions movie all over again.
Hate it.
And that this started, or talks, or the initial production for a Minecraft movie started in 2014.
Jesus Christ.
So it's been in some level of production for over 11 years. There was a fan film that was being crowdfunded that eventually got shut down by Notch himself personally. He came up, called them an anti-Semitic slur, and then and then
Haley Joel Notch.
yeah.
I was gonna say he just bombed their filming location.
And yeah, so it went through 10 or so different, iterations of directors, stars. At one point, Steve Carell was going to star as the voice of some unknown character.
What's his face was going to be Steve.
Yeah, Matt Berry.
Matt Berry, who ended up doing the little voice line of the villager once he learns to speak human. But I love how they just call it like he learned to speak human and not just English. Very erudite English, by the way. I'm the Matt Berry special.
And you pointed out after the film that Jack Black was doing a little bit of Matt Berry in his Steve.
He was trying to do like the weird line readings of that Matt Berry's known for. That I obviously can't remember the specific examples, but we were talking about it afterwards.
Yeah.
There
was also some weird, like, occasional words that had, like, Australian twang to them.
No, that was just him trying to do weird
Matt Berry things.
Matt Berry stuff.
Yeah, like Matt Berry saying chicken jockey would have been...
Chicken jockey?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's exactly how it would have been. Something like that. Wouldn't have disliked it, to be honest. I wouldn't have disliked it.
I mean, besides everything he says being funny, I don't actually know that I would like him as Steve.
I mean, I barely liked Jack Black as Steve.
Right. I just, like, my biggest takeaway...
I'd like to point out that I got up to go to the bathroom for, like, 3 minutes max and came back and it felt like an entire portion of the movie had already passed.
But yet, he didn't miss anything.
It's weird how that works.
He missed everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah, I missed the Minecraft call out.
Oh, that's right. He did. He missed the first we mine, then we craft. He did miss that. I did actually, I did tell him that.
That's a bummer.
I was so sad.
Let's Minecraft.
Heartbroken. I was spending way too much time in the bathroom with a flashing light bulb.
Yeah, but this on the Wikipedia page, the development and production is longer than is the longest section, longer than the plot, longer than anything. Before we
is the plot section just like a paragraph?
No, it's pretty decent.
No, it's decent. As decent as most video game Wikipedia or movie Wikipedia. Can we talk briefly about its financial success though? It has as of 2 days ago, it has crossed the 300 million domestic, 600 million global.
It's the most profitable movie of 2025.
Absolutely. It's on par to hit $1 billion. It broke like every record in terms of like where, its release window. Yeah, highest grossing movie of the year so far. It surpassed the Mario Brothers movies opening.
I didn't know that.
I think that was just domestic, if I remember correctly.
This is saying global. Well, actually, okay. This is saying ended up debuting with 162. This is for its debut weekend. It's not necessarily about its its totals. Obviously, it hasn't beaten its total yet. But in terms of the time frame and its launch weekend, yeah, it opened higher than Super Mario Bros. Is the third highest Warner Brothers opening weekend, behind Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 and Batman v Superman.
God, they're going to learn so many shitty lessons from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they do a sequel, do you think they're going to follow the same characters? Because one thing I had read about its production is that they made a conscious choice to make this a Minecraft movie versus the Minecraft movie. That's its official title is a Minecraft movie, and that like their whole thing is being that this is like quote unquote non-canonical in the sense that like that anything can be a Minecraft movie. This is a version of the Minecraft, like that. This is not
Zack Snyder's gritty, realistic Minecraft movie.
Definitive Steve. That there are apparently, Matt. We also missed. I had forgotten there was another post-credit scene where Yeah, you won't care. It'll mean nothing to you. It is Steve goes back to his house and finds the person who's, living there now. And it's like the other default character. I think her name is Alice or something. It's like you can choose Steve or Alice.
I was already relatively unhappy that you made me stay for the first one. And the first one was an okay payoff.
It's just to hear Matt Berry. I gotta admit, I found the Jennifer Coolidge villager subplot to be kind of bad, in that it was just so flimsy, in the fact that it just had no connection at all. It just felt like it was.
They were just justifying having her in the movie, which is funny because they have the sister, and I don't remember the other actress's name. Dawn, I think was her character's name.
Yes, who are
they might as well have not been in the movie. They were non-characters.
The kid basically shouldn't have been in the movie.
Yeah,
it was the Jack Black and Jason Momoa show.
Yeah, the kid was in the movie specifically to give all the children in the audience a self-insert.
Yeah,
and he exists as a cipher, right? He has no personality other than he is creative and he's bullied for it, which is
I pointed out afterwards that any school that gives a child access to compressed gas cylinders immediately shut down by the state.
Created a bomb.
Yeah, immediately shut down by the state.
You just let your newest kid make
your
a
bullied, awkward, socially child have access to create a bomb. Interesting.
I did find it funny when it then turned into a bomb and he blew up what was the mascot's name? Chuggy the Chip. Yeah, I did like that. Doing a terrorist attack on their local their town hero.
I pointed out that the leaps in logic of this kid being a savant for creating things, for at the end of the story him just soldering together integrated circuits on a board.
I don't want to get into the plot thing, but yet, or at least I don't want to treat the plot as the disconnected mess that it really is. But the fact that the game that they make at the end is the culmination of their creativity.
It's a beat 'em up.
The fact that it's an arcade beat 'em up and that would somehow be successful as an arcade cabinet beat 'em up, that would somehow be successful, and they don't just make it Minecraft is really weird to me.
Yeah, I had not thought about that really, but yeah, you're right. It's why didn't they just make it Minecraft there? Would have tied a little bow on it. They could have said Minecraft one more time.
Yeah, except they would have called it something else. It would have been build.
Craft the mines. Yeah, craft the mines. The theme, the proposed theme of the movie is, how we should encourage creativity. Creativity is a thing to embrace and to
I don't know.
to
My
grow
takeaway was become an 80s burnout, luck into some diamonds, become millionaire.
Did he though? Like, I don't even think he like they did anything with the diamonds after the
I don't
fact.
know. He became a successful businessman after running a shit business for like
That
20
was-
years.
That was just through the power of friendship. That was just because Steve came back and they created a youth center. Basically, they turned the shop into a youth center.
Third space.
Do you think they serve tater tot breakfast pizza?
All right, so should we? I'm not even going to say should we. We will talk about the plot now because I know
All right.
if I say-
Listeners, put on your Subway Surfers and your Kinetic Sands.
Strap in. Struggling doorknob salesman. That's a good bit. The what was most disappointing to me is how all like the memed bits, all like with the exception of Chicken Jockey and like Lava Chicken, all like the memed bits are in that 30-second like stinger intro. Like the yearning for the mines, the nether. What are some of the other ones? It's just all.
My
all,
name's Steve is like shortly. It's like right around then.
That's a little bit further. That's
It's a little bit further, but it's still in like the first 5 minutes.
No, it's not because they've
No?
made it all. Because
No.
they're in
I Am
the
Steve
overworld.
is when he helps them after they've built their tower.
Like
You're right. You're right.
they've made their way into the overworld at that point. That's relatively far in.
You're right. That's like 25 minutes.
Oh, Flint and Steel was the other one. Is just
Yep.
like again, like just immediately in that first 30 seconds that he's for some reason Steve has a childhood dream of being a coal mine. They don't unpack that at all.
This movie is subliminally messaging children to get ready to go back to the mines.
You will be farming for cobalt. We need their little hands. They can get into places that we can't reach. You'll be mining rare earth minerals, and you will enjoy it.
Down that mine.
So he grows up after being denied his entrance to the mines.
Wears the same shirt and pants.
He was volunteering to do free child labor, and they didn't take him up on it. What is this country coming to?
Yeah.
This country has truly gone to the dogs. Or should I say to the Dennises? He grows up. What is Jermaine Clements? He's the auction house guy who's obsessed with Garrett with Gargar. Unisex turquoise blouses. Yeah, he wears the same unisex turquoise blouse as he did as a kid.
Daryl is the auctioneer's name.
He, quits his job as a struggling doorknob salesman. Is that supposed to be some reference too that I didn't follow? Like, why doorknobs? Is that a thing?
I have no idea.
Yeah, but he's able to
Clearly,
eventually.
Minecraft doors don't have doorknobs.
He quits his job. He head fakes the same old man who kept him out of the mines as a kid, and is able to, pump fake him out into getting past him, and then proceeds to just have unfettered access to this seemingly abandoned mine shaft that this old man has been guarding for eternity. That man is a warlock. Beware his fury. And yeah, he discovers the Orb of Dominance and the Earth Crystal. So the Orb of Dominance is like a item from, I think it was introduced in Minecraft Dungeons, so it is a thing. And that's maybe one of the couple jokes that I did find funny at first was the cube thing just being called an orb.
An orb, yeah.
I did like that a little bit. I don't know what the Earth Crystal is supposed to be, and it's like, why is the significant thing? That's like the major plot hole to me that like drives the whole thing is they get the Earth Crystal, it breaks, they have to go get a new one, and that's why they go to the mansion in the woods or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. And it's like, why is that a special thing, and why do they have one there?
Yeah. Not explained. Not explained. I was thinking that myself. I was like, wait, they just have these
They
things?
just
Like,
have
is this
one?
not special? Like, what's happening?
It's a semi-rare thing, but like
Yeah.
something I guess you can farm for that was collected somewhere. I don't know. It was weird.
I just assumed that was a in-game thing that I just didn't know about. Like, I just assumed that's a place where you go get those things for like in-game supplies, world building shit. But maybe not.
I'm searching Earth Crystal.
Wouldn't be surprised if it's.
My assumption, I think you're talking about the mansion.
Yeah, we're talking about how like
Is that
the mansion and where these earth crystals
I
come
bet that
from.
the mansion serves as like a storage Rolodex of all of the different materials.
The
I have
wood-
no idea. This is again
For all the children listening, you're listening to three men who've never played Minecraft, trying to understand the openness that is this game. Tune in next week for us talking about the Roblox movie.
I can only go off of the Google AI here. I have to sink to the depths of using the Google search AI that says, in the now defunct Minecraft Earth crystals were used to create private adventures for players to enjoy with friends, avoiding the need to go outside during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hilarious.
They allowed players to place private adventures at any location. And the game was shut down in June 21 due to those restrictions being lifted. Okay.
Okay.
All right, kids, go back outside.
It must have something to do with portals, with know, the creation of the portals, which, ties into what it does in the movie. But yeah, it was just weird to me. It's like, yeah, you can just go get this thing at
this incredibly rare artifact and an orb.
That's
in my world, we call that a cube.
The only thing that it appears that the orb itself is the only actual rare element or one of a kind thing. And yeah, so he discovers the orb in the earth crystal. That's what opens the portal to the overworld. He goes in, he abandons the real world and just conquers the overworld, befriends his wolf companion Dennis, gets into conflict with the piglins of the Nether by discovering that portal, and is imprisoned by the movie's villain Malgosha, the gold-obsessed piglin ruler. Which this was something that obviously has got to be if you have the knowledge of the universe that you would understand intuitively. But yeah, the piglins need their whole drive, their whole purpose is they're trying to get the orb so they can blot out the sun of the overworld so that they don't zombify. It's like that they're allergic to something in the overworld that turns them into zombies. But the only thing that can keep them temporarily is the nether wart stuff that they grow, and it could be like a potion or I'm pretty sure there's one of Malgosha's piglin servants has a incense burner, a censer that is just constantly burning that stuff. But yeah, so she wants the orb of dominance to be able to.
They can mine gold in the overworld.
Yeah, so they can get
hey
all
man,
the
she's
resources.
A sympathetic villain. Her entire arc started because people didn't like her dance.
She saw firsthand the risks of being creative. You put yourself out there when you're creative. You open yourself up to criticism. So
hey,
instead,
I know someone else who put themselves out there as an artist and a creative, and then turned on the world when it wasn't.
Yeah, she is Pig Hitler. She's Pigler.
Just saying.
Hello.
Maybe the theme of this movie should be that creativity spawns evil, and that if no one is creative, then no one is evil.
Isn't that the plot of like The Giver or something like that?
Yeah.
It's also the subplot of that one Fairly Odd Parents episode where they turn everyone into gray blobs.
And it's also again like The Giver, and it's
you keep talking about this Giver. Is that a book or something that I was supposed to have read in middle school?
But then there's also the better movie, the Equilibrium. I love that.
Hell yeah.
I prefer Elysium with Matt Damon.
Completely different plots, but whatever.
Yep, but it starts with an E, so it's the same, using the Minecraft movie logic.
Yeah, so who knows how long Steve has been captured here? Long enough for his house to be foreclosed upon?
Yeah, what's the time frame for Overworld?
I would say do you think it's the 7 years thing that he's been pronounced legally dead by being in the overworld?
Yeah, so he comes back,
long?
He has no social security number, he's not a real person anymore, he gets to live off the grid as a ghost.
Yeah, as he gets captured,
he going to get recruited as an assassin in the next movie?
He gives the orb to Dennis, and Dennis hides it under his childhood bed, and which then gets put into the storage auction, where we get our introduction to Garrett, the garbage man Garrison Gargar, who has this...
Hey man, there's nothing quite as relatable as a man down in his luck going to a storage auction trying to turn it all around.
Well, he runs a used video game store, which a lot of retro and secondhand gaming sellers, resellers and stuff, their whole business thrives on storage and estate sales and auctions and stuff like that. That's where they get so much of their inventory.
What was he looking at? It was an Atari?
There's an Atari Cosmos.
Is that a real?
Thinks
No, it's an unreleased product by Atari Inc.
Which is why he was so freaked out. But it being unreleased would also indicate that there would be zero packaging and box work for it.
Let alone games to play on it.
Yeah. But I've watched enough Storage Wars to know you can't go into an auction on what you see. You got to be looking at the stuff you can't see when you're going for an auction.
And you know what he couldn't see? The value that is inherent in the Orb of Dominance. Because that's what was in the box. That was what was in the Atari Cosmos box, was the orb.
I appreciated his immediate... We had to just keep hammering home how much his life shit, with his car immediately breaking down afterwards.
And you see him on the side of the road freaking out as his radiator is just dumping steam into the
which
into
means he's not filling it with the proper fluid, and he's just been topping it off with water for years to keep it barely running.
Just pee in it.
Boy, urine crystal buildup in my radiator.
But that's where we get introduced to the siblings, Henry and Natalie, which again, could not have told you their names. I could not have told you their names. Brother and sister is what I refer to.
We had a sister who's questionably old enough to be watching Brother.
And to be his legal guardian. I don't buy. And she becomes the social media brand manager for the chip company, Chuggy the Chip. Because I don't know
how old they're trying to convince me she is.
Idaho.
She is 17, 16, somewhere in their max. No way that is a 23, 24, 25.
They're orphans.
Yeah, orphans. We never hear about that, huh? We never even...
The actress is 23. The kid is...
This is where I show my age and show the fact that pretty much everyone under the age of 27 just looks like a child to me. They're all just that young.
And apparently their best friend, only friend, in their new hometown is Dawn, their real estate agent who runs a mobile petting zoo.
Which I'm not gonna lie, the mobile petting zoo bit did give me a chuckle.
It didn't for me. Even the hissing alpaca or whatever.
No?
Didn't do it for me.
I can attest the fact alpacas are nasty animals. They belong nowhere near children.
Their fur makes good yarn, though.
It does, absolutely, which is why they belong on a farm to be processed for wool exclusively. Nowhere near children that they can bite and spit on.
You. We talked about and Henry's first day of school. He makes the jetpack bomb that...
Hey, his teacher was right. They were asking for realistic drawings of the apple and banana. Or was it an orange? I don't fucking care.
No, it was a still life. He wanted a still life.
And he put a jetpack on it. That is not what the prompt was.
But again, he's being punished for his creativity. He's got to follow
because this is
rules.
not the part of creativity right now. You weren't asked to make a surrealist. You were asked to enhance your abilities in a still life drawing. School is about honing multiple skills and branching yourself out before diverging into a singular skill in college. Usually alcoholism.
Yeah, so he's just constantly being, hit at every point in time that his creativity is wrong. He shouldn't be allowed to express himself, that he must conform. Conformity is cool, kids. He makes his jetpack, it explodes the potato chip factory that his sister is working at.
His jetpack might have worked if they hadn't snipped the auxiliary fuel lines. However, they still lit the burners, so I'm not really sure what the lines they snipped did.
It was just the turn off button. It was just the off button. So it just went out of control and exploded Chuggy the Chip.
Ew.
Which he was able to get out of it. So I don't even remember did it just that he landed and it took off, or did he just bail? I'm surprised it didn't.
No, remember he had Gargar come be his guardian at the school to take him away.
Wasn't he using the?
Yeah.
The
How did he
jetpack?
not die?
How did it not kamikaze him into Chuggy the Chip?
I don't think he was using it. I think it was remote controlled at the time, and it was showing that could.
You're right.
Up and down, because that's the only real based part of creation right there. Is not immediately strapping yourself to the thing you have no idea if it'll kill you.
Were any of them wearing safety goggles? I don't think so.
No. God, no. Are you kidding me?
So much shrapnel would have been sent flying.
Speaking as someone who's been on a job site all week, do you know how many times I have to remind actual adults, hey, there's a 1,000-pound steel beam overhead. Put your fucking hard hat on and stop walking underneath it.
Stop walking underneath.
We live for the thrill. We live. The only way to truly live is to experience the constant threat of death.
Don't worry, when that steel beam falls, it won't be very long. It'll be quick.
In real life, this kid goes to, work for SpaceX immediately after this.
He's a part of Doge.
They're about to charge him with domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
I mean, this is clearly like a West Virginia style location.
It's
So-
Idaho.
Idaho. Oh boy.
Idaho. Hence the potatoes.
I was just thinking about the mine location because I don't know if Idaho is a coal mining rich society.
They have
Yeah, I don't
mines.
think so.
I don't know about they have coal mines, but they definitely
Do they mine potatoes? Is that how they grow?
you do dig
You
them.
grow under. You do gotta dig him out. You already said to avoid expulsion, he pays Garrett, the garbage man Garrison, who is so desperate for cash. What is he? How much does he pay him?
It's like $30 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Was it at least like a couple $100, or is it literally
No,
just like
I'm pretty
20?
sure it was like school lunch money.
And he gets him to roll up and pretend to be his uncle.
Gets Jennifer Coolidge all hot and bothered.
They go back to his store. That's where the kid discovers the orb, and they get basically magnetized to the portal. As he puts it back together, they're getting pulled back to the portal. They get sucked in, and apparently the sister doesn't know how to use like Find My iPhone, but Dawn does. Like that's how they're able to track him to the overworld.
Actually, the most based aspect of this, because as people get younger, they lose the ability to use technology. It's the reverse of what it used to be, where the older you get, the more inept you become with technology. We've hit a bell curve status now, where it's pretty much people 30 and to 40 who are like the perfect usage of computers, phones, tablets, and it just starts a steep decline on both sides of those.
What is funny here on this plot page is they haven't even made it to the overworld yet, and that is over half of the description of the plot here. Is actually not in Minecraft world, because everything once they're in Minecraft, the beginning part has some level of structure of a real movie, has some setup and
The subtlety of rising action.
Yeah, but then once they get into Minecraft land, it's just go nonstop. Can't linger on anything too long, or else you'll start to see the cracks.
Do you think this movie has a definitive denouement?
When they decide to mine and then craft, let's Minecraft. It's when they have their plot to defeat the invading piglin army.
So 10 minutes before the movie ends.
They get sucked into the portal. They're into the overworld.
They see a sheep.
They see purple sheep. Hola. They get attacked. The funny bit is about how the day-night cycle is every 20 minutes on the dot. And immediately turns nighttime. They start getting attacked by zombies. The kid uses his unmatched creativity, builds a tower to save them, but even that can't stop the zombies from
The kid
approaching.
immediately figures out after bumping into a tree that you can punch trees to get materials, and I was lost immediately. I was like the one-to-one, if I just keep hitting these things, I'll get more materials.
What do you mean? He bonked it hard enough. He got a wood cube. Let's bonk some more. I just don't know where he got it all, though. I don't know where he got his
Build that
inventory
entire tower
of cubes. Just turn your brain off. Don't ask questions. What are you doing here? But yeah, in this whole process, the Earth crystal gets destroyed.
Dun dun dun.
They're about to get zombified when Steve pulls up, does his I am Steve, sets them all on fire, sets
You
all
forgot
the
the very
zombies on
crucial
fire.
part where Malgosia sends Steve back to the overworld to retrieve the crystal for her as
Right.
penance as part of his
Well,
enslavement.
She blackmails him because she makes him think that they have Dennis, his wolf dog, his Minecraft wolf dog, captured because they found his collar, and so he's doing it to save Dennis. Which, do you think that naming the dog Dennis is a holdover from Rob?
I want the
10-year
dog
old
wearing a collar to be Dennis. Can you make him hot too?
Narratively, I'm choosing to believe that.
Yeah, dude, I don't even want to get into the rest of this. I really don't. It's really bothering me.
Nah, just sum it up.
They got to replace the crystal, right? So they go they got to go to the.
They got to go to the place to do the thing, and then they get the thing, and then they do
first
the thing.
First they go to the village. That's where you meet the villagers.
Lava.
You get the lava chicken, which, let's talk about this. I don't like the fact that because Jack Black is in a thing, there has to be musical numbers.
I'm with you.
Where it makes no fucking sense why it would be in universe. It makes no sense.
Totally with you.
I called it after the movie that I think the movie is 103 minutes or something like that.
101.
101. So for an hour and 40-minute movie, including credits, there was way too many needle drops and musical bits combined. Just far too much density of pointed screen, no music. Because we were watching a subtitled version, so you could explicitly call it out because they would put up like song by artist playing now.
And it was a dog shit score. Like they can't even call it a score. Yeah, dog shit soundtrack. Just again, completely nonsensical, thematical, with no sense of theme or tone. Just picking, that's a song that people will like and will dance, and the kids will get the little kids dancing in their seats too. But yeah, just having Jack Black means that you have to have songs in it. Do you think that's part of his contract or what?
I'm pretty sure his contract includes a saxoboom, and they were like, no, you can't have a saxoboom. He's like, well, then I need to have at least 3 songs that I'm singing.
Yeah, I think it's probably like Jack Black imposed.
I don't know.
Because I can't imagine they do those things. Like the script treatment didn't have that song in there before Jack Black was cast. Like I can tell you that.
Peaches song, far better than anything in this movie.
That's like in an end credit scene. That's not even part of the movie. They have the at least the respect for you, the viewer, to be like, this is just an ancillary funny thing. We have Jack Black. Let's let him do the funny thing, but we're not going to let it actually impact the movie.
You think when he plays the Deku Tree that he'll sing to Link, Skibbity Boo?
I think so. Don't like it.
No, it's not Christopher Nolan. Fucking Michael Bay. You think in Michael Bay's Skibbity Toilet, he will play the toilet?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Ben. I don't like it. It's tired. It feels forced. It's not like Jack Black singing is fun, but it's its own thing. It doesn't need to be shoehorned into every kid's movie he does to eternity.
Say what you will about fucking Borderlands movie, and we said our share. Folks, go check that episode out.
Go check that episode out.
He didn't
the last
sing
time
in it.
Ben dragged
He
me
didn't.
to
You're
a movie.
right. He didn't.
The funny part is, I put Borderlands above this movie in viewing experience because
I
went into that movie knowing it was going to be dog shit and enjoying the fact it was dog shit. I went into the movie knowing this movie was going to make me want to unalive myself, to use the terms that the movie uses, and I walked out. The only reason I stayed through that movie was because I was getting Mexican food afterwards. It was the carrot in front of the donkey for me, was that I was going to get a quesadilla and listen to happy people eating fajitas 3 tables over.
Love that sizzle.
That's a bold statement, man. I don't know. Borderlands was like
Not for me.
interminable to me.
Even though I didn't like this as a movie, and was slightly disappointed in that, I thought I was going to get more enjoyment.
Yeah, Borderlands had Kevin
the
Hart.
fun-
And if you have Kevin Hart, you're absolute cinema.
I thought I was going to enjoy the funny kind of meme bits of this movie more than I ended up actually enjoying. But no, I almost fell asleep in Borderlands, so automatically is a worse movie to me.
Yeah, but Borderlands didn't disrespect my attention span.
Did by just being entirely empty of anything remotely fun.
Yes, but it was slow and empty.
This is not a relitigation.
That's like Master and Commander.
We're not relitigating Borderlands in this one.
No, Borderlands is getting a retroactive +1 to its score.
All right, back to the plot here. So yeah, they got to go to the Woodland Mansion, but they stop off in the village. They learn how to craft things. I did like Jason Momoa making water bucket nunchucks.
Chucks.
Yeah, buck chucks. But yeah, the Malgosia knows that the Orb of Dominance has returned and says piglins, including the Great Hog, to go.
First she sends General
raid the
Chungus,
village.
and General Chungus fails her.
Okay, right. And it's that in that escape thing is where we get Jack Black and
Mounting Jason Momoa
69ing as they crash through the World Trade Centers. Folks, if you've seen the meme, you know. Yeah, and so great. Then she sends out the Great Hog, who tracks them down to the mountain,
Redstone mines.
The Redstone mines where Steve has his diamond hoard because Garrett is blackmailing him, won't give him the orb back unless he gives him his diamonds because he's so fucking poor. The kid doesn't know about it, and when he does discover how selfish Gargar is, he's like, I don't want to talk to you again, ever. My sister could be hurt out there.
And then, like 2 minutes later, they're fine.
They're chummy. Everything's good. There's a creeper farm there for some reason. I don't know what. For some reason, yeah, and they use them to blow up the giant hog or the great hog as he's chasing them. And that was just a detour. They do eventually get to the mansion. I did find it really funny how they're describing like the layout of the mansion. Each level has there's 3 levels. Each one has these different guards. They completely skip the second one. They explain them. They're like these magical things. You never see them. You only see the dudes with the axes, which are just evil villagers with axes, and you see an Enderman who's at the top level and
gives him the penance stare.
And yeah, the kid gets the
earth crystal.
Yeah, he gets the earth crystal. Is that where he also he finds another ender pearl? Well, he gets the ender pearl from killing the Enderman, I guess, which he just does through the power of ADD, right? By not paying attention and not looking at it and just swiping.
Yes.
He just stun locks.
We get another music bit though with Jason Momoa and Jack Black in the first level.
Well, that's where we get the chicken jockey. That's where Chicken Jockey comes in. Is like they get captured and they get put into a death match where he's got to fight the chicken jockey. Which the part that I actually enjoyed the most out of it is the Nacho Libre reference. Is
100%.
Jack Black coming in and doing a nacho? I don't remember the.
How many children watching the Minecraft movie even know Nacho Libre exists?
I'm pretty sure the director, the guy who ended up directing this, directed Nacho. Yep, Nacho Libre.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre.
And anyone under the age of 19 wasn't alive when that movie came out.
Yeah, that's 2006. Fuck. What was the musical number in that one?
They were singing to distract.
That's right. At least that one has a little bit more plot significance, right? He's doing it as a distraction rather than just
but they could have done this the way that old movies used to do it, where they both dress in drag.
Yeah. They dress up as female villagers. Yeah.
I mean, who can forget
are there female villagers?
I'm sure they have to have them. I'm just going to say, who can forget the illustrious scene of Joseph Joestar trying to break into a Mexican Nazi camp?
There are not.
Amazing.
Villagers are technically genderless. They are agender.
I'm surprised this movie hasn't been attacked for being woke then. If they're genderless, how can he be on a date with...
You can be non-binary and still be a sexual being. Unless that's the question though. How do they reproduce?
That's what I'm getting to.
Asexually.
I think it's through their nose.
Do they just mitosis and split and form 2 villagers?
Just randomly when they feel like it. As they're escaping the mansion, they're getting attacked again, and we think that Garrett sacrifices himself. I'm gonna prove to you, kid, that I'm not, like that. My life means something. I'm not selfish. Yeah, we think they blow him up. The kid gets fucked up, and they wake up reunited with the sister and Dawn, who again could have not been in this movie for how little they play.
Once the village scene ended, they functionally stopped existing as characters.
They serve no purpose. They have no character
other
moments.
Than to be essentially a vessel to get Dennis back to Steve.
Matt and I talked about this, is that they literally exist to check off the quote-unquote diversity box. And
but they don't pass the Bechdel test.
They don't even pass the Bechdel test. When they're alone, they're only talking about the brother.
Or Steve,
yeah. They do.
Oh my God, you're right. You're right.
But they don't. They don't even serve that purpose. It's just literally they serve no role in the movie, and it's just kind of baffling, and it just serves as distraction fodder. So they're all back together. They're in the big old red one mushroom house, and they decide their plan. That's when they're going to say, Matt left at this point during the movie, and he is now left at this point of the podcast. This is when they decide on their plan. First they mine, then they craft. Let's Minecraft. They develop their plan. They get all the resources. They create an army of iron golems. The kid makes his tater tot gun,
Yep.
which just looks like the fart cannon from Despicable Me.
Yep.
And
Does.
the sister becomes like a master of hand-to-hand combat out of nowhere. And that becomes her career goal in life. Is she moves from being a social media manager to a self-defense class teacher. Jumping ahead a little bit. But yeah, so they make an army of iron golems with one at the head who's got their boots of speed and is literally just like he's Hermes he's Hermes but but golemified, and they battle the Piglin army, and the kid uses an ender pearl to get to the crystal. It was Chekhov's
the classic Chekhov's Ender Pearl.
The kid's got a fucking cannon of an arm for being a socially awkward creative.
Does he not put it in his? Does he not put it in his gun? Does he not put it in his tater tot gun?
I thought he shoots it. With the potato tot gun.
No way that kid's getting that further than a couple yards. With that limp noodle of an arm. Fuck that nerd. Yeah, so they get the orb back. Malgosia's defeated. The piglins start to zombify.
That was the only bit that got like a mild like grin out of me was when come listen to my last words.
She keeps trying to knife him. Yeah, that was a little silly. Yeah, the groups return.
It was the two times. The third time I was like, okay, you're running a bit too far.
They're victorious. Everybody's reunited. They all decide to go back to the overworld. We've already just said what happens there.
Time for another musical number.
Time for another musical number that again was just completely interminable, and they have created a nonsensical video game that would not make them more than a couple $1,000s, and they've created a community center, a youth center, and a Minecraft themed martial arts studio. Dawn is able to quit being a realtor to follow her passion as being an animal torturer. I guess. Who knows? Who cares? Again,
I just like that the people in the real world are fully accepting of someone teaching self-defense lessons while constantly referencing block-shaped pigs.
Yeah, she's got her dummy is a piglin, and she's got Minecraft weaponry up on the walls. And
real normal place to take your child.
The place you want to focus your punch is the big fucking schnoz right in the front. That's their
Once the U.S. government learns about the Minecraft overworld, how quickly are they going in there and resource farming and determining what they can create for weaponry?
Say how can we further weaponize the creepers and Endermen?
Or do they use the overworld as a form of Guantanamo Bay style prison world?
No, that's you send them to the Nether for that. All political prisoners will be renditioned to the Nether as of now. Yeah. So my final thoughts on this movie are that what I enjoyed again was like the seeing other people get enjoyment out of it, was the the chatter going on in the theater experience. Honestly, the memification of it
kind of ruins it.
Hindered my enjoyment because the moments in the movie themselves were less funny than the memes that had been created about it. So that
it's also just a victim of the modern movie thing of showing your quote unquote, because I don't find them funny, your funniest bits in the trailers to get people to go to the movie, so that's all ruined already by the time they actually hit when the movie comes around.
I just think that this is to say,
like, can you imagine how much better it would have been if you didn't know Jack Black was going to walk on screen and say, "I am Sora"?
Yeah, I can. They definitely blow their load way too much in the promotional materials and leave nothing towards the imagination. For a film that's supposed to be about the unbridled creativity, surely show a lack of creativity, let alone like a restraint.
I mean, what they show is they don't trust their viewers to be able to like watch a trailer and not see everything that makes them laugh immediately and then want to go see the movie.
They're like, they won't remember this anyways.
Their brains are like soft pudding. And not the type of pudding that our UK bruvs make. I'm talking the pudding that comes in a plastic cup.
I think ultimately I found this to be a largely inoffensive, very
forgettable,
child-targeted movie. Like, this was a movie that was really made for the kids, which is fine.
I want to make a point here. that
I
you
think
can
you're
make
gonna
a
say- I
children's
think you're
movie
gonna-
that is still good for
You're
adults.
saying the exact same
No.
thing that I wanted to make. To say that, like, to excuse this being bad as, oh, it's just made for kids.
No. That's not.
Does a disservice to, one, the intelligence of kids, and what
I know what you're trying to
kids
say,
can get
Andrew.
enjoyment
I'm just
out of.
trying to make sure that the
No.
point is known that there are children's movies from back in the day, like The Black Cauldron, which hold up to both modern viewership and the child's mind.
Right. I'm
Some
not
of them
saying.
don't.
I'm not
like
saying
The Rats
a
of Nin
kids.
definitely isn't something.
Right, but like it doesn't. That's not to say a kids movie is inherently bad or like anything of that sort. But it's also to say like these are just made. Occasionally, a child's movie like this one is made to just be a commercial product to have children sit in the seats for an hour and a half. Like, and that's what this is.
Yeah, but the
Like, there
Transformers
wasn't-
TV
there's
show
not
was
art,
designed
there's
to sell
not
children
anything,
toys.
there's no art, there's no create, like none of that matters. None of that was part of making this movie. This movie was made to put children's butts in seats, and fine. Like,
And
ultimately,
the real trick to that
that's
is you
okay.
can't put children's butts in seats without an accompanying adult who needs a bunch of popcorn and snacks. So they're really trying to, build up the movie theaters who've been hurting real bad ever since the pandemic.
yeah, well, no, for sure. But ultimately, I'm just saying,
Kind of aside to that Matt's point there is like that the true success for you have two paths to success for a successful children's movie in this in any sense, but really in this day and age, is that in a non-cynical version is that it has to also appeal to the adults who are buying the tickets. But yeah, the kid is going to annoy them. I want to go see the funny man make the sounds on the big screen. But there's got to be something for the parents to enjoy to get them to spend that money with how expensive full theater experience is these days, particularly for a family. Or you have the fucking just meme frenzy that is just driving the ironic participation in, and that's they chose to go down the cynical route versus
100%.
because it's
100%.
easier
Way
they don't
easier.
the production teams, they don't care that every AMC theater has now become a war zone.
I mean, the
Doesn't reflect
director
on
was
their bottom
actively
line.
encouraging it after opening weekend.
Yeah, because it gets more people in the seats.
They sold a fuck ton. It's crazy. I never thought it was going. The fact that the cultural memification of this movie has driven it to be literally the most successful April release.
I think it's more than
behind-
just the cultural memification. I think you have to consider the ramifications, to continue using words that end in cation, of the amount of pure children who have been exclusively raised by this game. This game has
Sure.
been around for
100%.
13 years, 14 years, 16 years, something like that.
Longer than
yeah, it's
fact
probably
checking
like
on the
it's
internet.
probably like 16. I think it's like 20.
I think it was like 2008, so it
2009
might be 17.
2011.
This game has been a core
11.
part.
But
11?
that may have been its 1.0 release, where it had
Yeah,
like
'cause it definitely was around
it had-
before that.
it had an earlier, it was like kind of, it was basically
It was like Tom played it.
it was basically like shareware type
Yeah.
stuff.
But like there's a significant portion of people who we've talked about, games get expensive. It's hard to, continually justify buying games over and over again. This is a game that you'd buy your kid and that'd be the only thing they played for 5, 7, 8 years. Like I know college graduates who have Minecraft servers who have tried to invite me to them, and I look at them like they're an alien to me.
People
Yeah.
build some cool stuff in there, though, I will say.
Yeah, I'm sure that the engineering graduates with their own Minecraft.
Somebody has remade at scale the entire solar system, and it took them the
That's
better part of
crazy.
a decade to do it.
I mean, I've seen a video titled "Someone Made a Functional Calculator in Minecraft."
Yeah, they made a computer in Minecraft.
Yeah, in mind.
Which I
'Cause,
mean,
I mean,
they're not
what
far
is-
off.
what is-
All a computer
what
is
is-
sentient rocks.
So you're saying, what is Minecraft but a bunch of rocks that you've tricked to think? So yeah, it tracks. Okay, so there's the Java edition was 2009.
Yeah, no, 16 years.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and that's probably why it's also been so culturally resonant with the memes and like.
Yeah, but
It
why couldn't
being-
the memes be like the kids showing up in
This one's for the
tuxedos to go
memesters.
watch the Minions movie?
'Cause I mean, that still caused problems. People
Yeah.
people still got banned from theaters for that. 16 tickets to the Minecraft movie, please.
All
Yeah,
right.
all right. So what are we thinking for ratings here? I think this is going to get one of our lowest movie scores. I'm going to give this a 2.5 for a movie, but I'm going to give it an 8 for adaptation. It's completely at the ends of the spectrum for me because it's a dog shit movie. But honestly, I know more about the movie, or I know more about Minecraft than I did beforehand, because the movie is literally just Jack Black going around pointing at and telling you about things from the game.
Lore dumping.
He's literally tutorializing the game for you, and it's like, okay, okay, I guess. Because again, it's not like the game has a story.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in alignment with you. I'm gonna be slightly more favorable on the movie score and say like a 3, because I still like. I'd rather rewatch this than the Monster Hunter movie. I'd rather rewatch this than Borderlands.
I like Monster Hunter.
So,
I was one of the ones who actually enjoyed the Monster Hunter movie.
Did. I don't know. That one just was.
It wasn't good, but like, I enjoyed that one more than anybody else.
First we monster, then we hunt.
Yeah, so I think like a 3-4 sounds good on movie score, and yeah, adaptation. I'll go with the 8. I think that's a fair rating there for the reasons you listed. It is truly. We talk about this every time. Like the adaptation score can fluctuate based on what and how you're adapting it, and yeah, this game has no plot, and they nailed it for the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Just because I went in with literal, like, I thought I was going to walk out of that movie giving it like a 0.5. So like being above my expectations does not make it good. I'm still probably going to go lower. You gave it a 2.5. You gave it like a 3.4. I'm definitely in the like 1.5 range because this movie made me rage internally multiple times, made me want to just leave the theater and just leave civilization completely because I see where we're going as a society.
It's bleak, folks.
Adaptation wise, like, yeah, I get all of your arguments for 8, but like, I can't physically give this above like a 7 just because it hurts me.
It's reasonable.
Like, I can't give it what I would consider good scores. I know some people follow the C's get degrees sentiment, but fuck, man, this was fucking awful.
So we're at a 2.4 for movie score. 2.43, but it's a 2.4, and that puts us at...
Yeah, because basically me and Andrew balance to fall into your middle score.
And we got a 7 for adaptation. 7-7, technically, actually.
That's also reasonable.
By the laws of rounding, it's a 7-7. Would I ever watch this again? No, I don't think so. I still find the memes pretty funny.
If I ever text the group chat, like, hey guys, I'm watching the Minecraft movie tonight. Realize they got me. It's not me anymore.
I've long since been on the record about this, that I encourage, like, say, my nephews, one who's far too young to be, playing games at all, whatever, but I encourage them to play games, but I've told my sister that, like, the only games that they're not allowed to play are Roblox, so they don't get trafficked, and Minecraft, because it'll poison their brains, and it's the only thing that they'll play, and now I have further reason to be like, yeah, don't let them play Minecraft, because they will just become delinquents who will just be sprouting off brainrot activation phrases like chicken jockey and flint and steel.
You think chicken jockey is going to be the MK Ultra activation terms? Do you think this was just pre-programming?
Flint and steel.
Steve, Dennis,
we've all been
jockey.
We've all been primed.
The nether. The what? That's my favorite one so far. The people insinuated that he's saying a slur instead of He did not say the nether. All right. We've spent far too much time on this already.
Way too much.
We're approaching, before this gets edited, we're approaching the
runtime.
The runtime
of this movie, so we're going to cut it here. What's on the docket? We're just at news next week, right? It'll be end of the month, so Rut News next week. We'll do a roundup for the month of April. I think Andrew and I did a review video on Split Fiction that I think I'm going to publish, I think same day as the podcast. So it should be out now. So go ahead over to the YouTube and check that out. And yeah, follow all the social medias in the meantime, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you, and a good chicken jockey to you all out there. Don't go stabbing people at the movie theaters. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you might unalive them by accident.
By accident, yeah. Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.